many times. I just don't particularly enjoy I think the camera system world map is atrocious.
It is a little funky.
Not funky, just bad. I have the worst. I've never struggled to go from place to place in any RPG I've ever played until that one.
So because you're playing the PS3 version, right?
I think so.
When you played it. So I don't remember it being that bad when I played it on the GameCube. And I've started a game on the PS3. I have not gotten far enough to know whether or not the controls are really that bad or not.
It's just not that the controls, I just the way the camera moves, the way my visibility in the world map. I find it to be horrible. Maybe that's why they ditched the world maps during that era of RPGs, because it just was better off.
Shield disabled.
But I've been playing Tales of Hearts, and I've not had those issues so far.
And it does have a world map.
And it does have a world map, and I've not had that issue in the world map. It's just a better made game, technically. Of course, the combat and everything is the exact same. That's really not any different.
And the combat in Tales is always pretty fun. At least I've always thought.
I mean, I've always those styles of RPGs that I've found to be okay. I mean, I've not been able to sit there and be the master at them like I can at a normal Japanese RPG. But I haven't gotten very far. I've finally moved on and gotten to the girl, the actual other main character, I guess, and her stupid, crazy. You're dying. Stupid, crazy brother.
Oh yeah, I think that he's actually kind of funny. in his obnoxiousness, I think he's amusing. If that makes sense. Is this gonna charge my controller?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right.
So that's how I do. I hook it up to my laptop and keep going.
But it's not moving my controller. Oh, okay, it is.
There you go.
All right. Sorry, I have a dead controller, so I had to fix that. So yeah, I've not played very much of that this week, and I'll tell you why here in a minute. But it's I like the story in that one. And the thing that sucks about you having not played Tales of Symphonia all the way through is that game's story is really good. Like it's a very endearing game, I've always thought. And I would I mean, I've got intentions of going back and playing through it again now that I've got it on the PS3, because what better excuse to replay a game you've already finished than to buy another damn copy of it for a modern console.
Yeah, I don't know. I just couldn't. I just didn't like dealing with it. But I mean, I guess that's just. I've just always been more akin to the Dragon Quest, Final Fantasy style of RPGs.
Which I can't contest your decision there, because hell, that's the games I've played the most. I've only played through the Symphonia titles from the Tales series. Although I did play Tales of the World Radiant Historia on the PSP.
Isn't that like
really mediocre?
And not like a tradition. It's not a traditional Tales
No,
game.
it's dungeon crawl with fan service.
God, that's definitely not. I don't particularly enjoy dungeon crawls. They always make me feel like I'm not making progress for the most part, except for Diablo.
That's because it's a loot crawl more than anything.
Yeah, and it doesn't. The problem with most dungeon crawls is they sort of overstay their welcome. They're like too long, like obnoxiously long. Like Persona 3 with its like 1,000 floors. It was some ridiculous number of floors. Diablo was like 15.
In the eye, James.
16.
Yeah, see, that's not that bad, and it changes as you're going. And like you said, the loot just keeps you going.
Yes, it does.
But yeah, so Tales of Hearts, It's just something I turn on basically right now when I'm going to bed. Off at any point in time, thanks to my PS3. It's nice.
Vita.
I haven't really been able to play my Vita all that much. I mean, when I don't have games, I just don't play it all that much.
Well, you've got. I mean, depending on what you've got from like PSN on like PlayStation Plus for free or not,
Everything.
I can't imagine there's been anything truly amazing except for like Uncharted, which was not a bad Uncharted game, not a great, but decent little Uncharted game. I like that one. It was not brilliant or anything. Oh, by the way, Brandon has never seen Beyond Good and Evil before now, or at least doesn't remember it.
No, I've definitely never seen it.
I could have sworn that I started it with you when we were living together.
You could have it. That doesn't mean I was paying attention.
That's probable. So, if you can't tell, it's Michel Ansel's answer to Zelda in a way. And unfortunately, we're getting it without the dialogue. So,
She looks so small.
what do you mean?
It just made her look like a kid. It's like her model figure, even though it's supposed to be adult size, just looks small.
So, to the person in the chat, I am also very excited for Beyond Good and Evil 2 because it exists at all. I think that they are.
Be careful. I did a checkup on you after your fight, and I
Not
noticed
pearl.
got inside
Okay,
you.
sorry.
I don't think it's going to be the same type of game.
Nah, it's gonna be very different. And of course, there are pearls. There's a lot of pearls. I think there's one pearl for all of the different monsters in the game, if I recall correctly. And there's like different monsters you can go and find. And Jade's a photographer too.
You may go up without
Which is also
fear.
very cool. So the game I've been playing this week, you know, to get on to conversation about that. Oh, camera. There we go. I actually played through Riven this week. And not just picked it up and messed around with it and tried to play it like I have in the past. I actually finished Riven. Do you remember when I first played Riven, Brandon? We were fucking freshmen in high school. That's when I first tried to play Riven. We're 30. It's been way too long trying to get through that game, and now I've finally done it, and I was literally ecstatic when I finished this game. I've written a script to do a video about that game,
I'm coming to you live.
so I could talk about it more deeply.
Some of the children whose
But-
parents have been captured by the Dons have been taken in by
Oh,
two
look.
devoted and
He's
courageous
obviously a douchebag.
Miss.
Well, he's a TV personality, so of course he is.
Yeah, well, you guys are not what I
Why is
call
that
as
big
fast
talking?
as a speeding
Because he's one of the main characters of this game, Brandon.
bullet. And next
No, that
time,
doesn't change
there'll
the
be
fact that it's a
nothing left
pig.
here to say.
So,
Cut. Hey, Pop, stay zen. Don't get your
got a problem with talking pigs?
Yes.
boys. That's a wrap. Pack it up.
People can have problems with a monkey cussing. I can have a problem with a pig.
I think the people who would have a problem with the monkey cursing
If it
are
wasn't for
like
you,
completely ignoring the fact that there was a talking pig in this game. Oh, God! I wish I could like there's so much I want to talk to you about with Riven, but you've started playing a game, and I don't want to ruin any of it for you.
What is there to ruin? Just puzzles.
Okay, but that's understating it just a little bit. Every single thing in that game is entirely designed to tell you the answer to 2 puzzles. There's only 2 actual puzzles in the game, Brandon.
Oh, Jade, how are you feeling, darling?
Like, and you haven't even seen them yet, I'm sure.
I have no idea.
They're somewhat hidden.
Nope. Now that the shield is on the blitz.
But what I thought was really funny, so Riven originally came on 5 CDs.
What a piece.
Or 1 DVD if you were wealthy enough to have a DVD drive in your computer in 1997.
Secundo.
Or 98, whenever that came out, I don't know.
Hovercraft.
And
Shield.
the game starts on disc 1, and each island is a disc.
Is empty.
And the game bounces you around back and forth between these 4 discs until you finally get to the 5th disc. And then you have to go back to the first disc to finish the game.
Science Center wants a collection.
That's fine. Go back to the first disc to finish the game.
She pay you dinner.
And then what happens when you actually finish the final puzzle and you've ended the game,
Mira,
Brandon?
that beast,
I
for
should change
example.
the disc to the
Take
5th
pictures.
disc.
It sends you to the 5th disc.
Interesting.
I guess there is one additional puzzle, but it's not much of a puzzle. And
Recheck your circuits.
so you know that weird gold thing near the beginning of the game when you walk out of the
War,
gate,
son.
You
the
understand.
little house thing where you're imprisoned and the guy lets you free.
This is
Yeah.
mucho
The little
importante.
gold thing off here to the left. That's the end of the game.
And we'll see if Secundo Espectro Unionis Processo. Ciao.
I don't.
I found your camera, Jade. I put it right over
Like, it is so important to like remember all the different details of stuff that they show in the books and
Camera ready. It's
so on and so forth. It's such an impressive world, and the world building is just excellent. I know I keep saying that, but it's okay.
So what do the pitchers do in this game?
What you
What are you doing, sir?
I'm trying to
Did
I'm trying to do the thing it wants me to do, but it's not letting me do a
you
thing.
lock the game up already?
Did I kill the game? Oh, okay.
What happened?
I am holding L1. Thank you. Is my controller broken and I just never realized it? That doesn't make sense because I needed L1. Oh. Okay, so
I don't understand.
I don't either. Is there glitches in this port? Did Ubisoft fuck up re-releasing this lovely game?
Snitches with old man snitches.
Oh man.
He hasn't done that in a long time.
Well, it's because the guy who did that left the show in a huff. Dude, I'm so lost as to what just happened here.
How to play?
Photo mode, hold L1. That's helpful there, game. Do you hear me pushing the buttons?
I see. Are you pushing any other button?
No, I'm literally just holding down the one button.
Dude.
Something's wrong. Oh my, that's bad. Man, we were not meant to stream tonight, were we? Here, go for it. In the meantime, I'm going to talk more about how excited I am for you to actually play through Riven and hopefully then finish the game. That would be excellent if you were to also finish Riven. Because that would make 2 people I know that have played through Riven. Rather than just one. Because our buddy Sean has also finished Riven.
This is L1, you ass.
Note to self. When I actually do finish Beyond Good and Evil, I need to play it on the PS2. Because the PS3
Oh
version's
shit,
not
what
working.
the fuck?
I know my controller's fine because we were just playing Alone in the Dark.
There's the problem.
What is it?
You were playing Alone in the Dark.
Are you saying that my controller's now possessed by the shadows?
No, it's going to up in revolt because you played that horrible game.
Game's not that bad.
That's
It's just average.
That's debatable.
It's just average. The problem is you're comparing it to the perfect Resident Evil game, which is Resident Evil 1. And that's just not fair to it. This is very sad. Little did I know I'd glitch the game by trying to play it.
God. Everything else worked but this.
Mm-hmm. Man, modern Ubisoft sucks. Here, let me try a thing.
Press that one there. If that works.
So, well, tell me, Brandon, do you remember when we first played Myst back in high school?
Yeah, I remember that.
Actually trying to play that game.
And we sucked in too.
Well, yeah, but we actually got through Myst. There's no way to change the controls.
Exit photo mode. I think the game actually glitched.
I think so too, which is really weird that you can actually get to all the menus, but
That's really not all that surprising.
why? Because it's modern day Ubisoft?
No, it's just a modern day video game.
Oh. But it's pretty like glaring, horrible glitch that it glitched that.
Because the thing is, like I was saying before, when I saw this game, I just saw it's like, oh, it's just another fucking action game. I don't.
I mean, it's Zelda-like. That is a fair comparison to make. But there's no save data because I didn't get to save. Well, kiss my ass, game. I'm so sorry that I didn't save before you locked up.
Why didn't you save, Brad?
Because I didn't think I was going to get glitched in a stupid camera tutorial. Ubisoft, you suck. At least you're making a sequel. Maybe it won't be glitched as hell.
Yeah, they're making.
Loyal
God, you're so untrustworthy.
What has anybody done to make me trust them with anything? God, I mean, have you looked at the last games that Ubisoft has made?
Okay,
It
well,
took them 2 tries to make fucking Watch Dogs work. Yeah, I get it. Some people like the first one, but for the most part, it was a very meh game.
it is very meh. It's repetitive as hell. The characters are just dreadful. There's a couple of good moments, but that's it.
And you want this company.
To be fair, the games that Michel Ancel makes are good.
Would you like me to bring up that one?
Don't bring up that one, because that doesn't count. The games he made up.
Did he made it? I'm
No,
sorry.
he didn't make it up. He took what Peter Jackson shat out in the form of a King Kong movie, and he's like, I gotta make this into a shooting game. Add French accent for offensive extra detail here. And that was it. That's what happened. He didn't make that game. He made Rayman and all of its sequels. He made Beyond Good and Evil. He made those games. He developed and produced this King Kong thing. He didn't, but that's not the thing that Michel Ancel
Well, no, because it was a piece of crap
did. Exactly.
that he made.
Okay, like I said, he directed it, but he didn't make that.
Your battery's dying, sir.
Damn the battery.
That was a loud noise.
Well, that was our pop filter falling. Don't talk directly at the microphone for fear of blowing it up. So the creepy alien things has kidnapped the kid again, and we're gonna go to the menu screen.
Like, please wait right there. I gotta open my menu.
Yeah, I need to like make sure my shoelaces are tied. Oh my. So whenever we played Myst originally, we used a little bit of help. I didn't have to. When I've beaten Myst 3 before this, and I didn't really get much help with that one because it was really easy.
I remember you playing through Myst 3 and it being really easy.
It was stupid easy. I mean, it was a decent game, but the puzzles were not challenging. You could kind of muscle your way through them in a way that you can't with Riven.
Wow, the slow down. I don't think this game's meant to move that slow, sir.
Me either. Wow.
Fucking Ubisoft. What is this people who can't make proper ports?
I don't know. That's bizarre. Maybe I should have gone and got my PS2 copy.
Now we get to the tentacle porn part.
No, no, no. It's not that kind of the game.
No, this is Japanese. If it was Japan, you should be worried.
So, but the thing I remember most about Myst is that half the answers are in the books on the first island, and trying to match the keyboard tones to go to the rocket ship age.
Yeah.
That was a pain in the ass.
They don't do a whole lot with sound after that, do they? Like in any other game?
Oh man, dude, Riven, one of the key puzzles is entirely about sound. Namely, I don't want to ruin it for you, but just know that whenever you hear very specific sounds in the game, you need to pay attention to that in order to get through the game. It's not keyboard tones. It's not as esoteric as that. It's not as easy as that. It's a much more esoteric sound puzzle. But at the same time, if you're paying attention to what's on the wall, it's not a big deal. And also, just as this is something that doesn't spoil anything, keep in mind just how important the number 5 is to that game. Like, everything comes in 5s. And therefore, everything you're going to need to know is ultimately going to come down to 5 of something. Does that make sense? Or
they are obsessed with 5.
Mm-hmm. And one of the ways that they kind of fuck you over with that obsession with 5 is that the 2 key puzzles, it doesn't tell you, there's no way to find all 5 answers exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a pain in the ass.
Pay to get the hovercraft fixed with that.
But no, I mean, as far as like games with world building, like I've played very few video games that actually like manage to maintain world building that makes sense for the entirety of the runtime. And I mean that like The Witcher has excellent world building, but it's also not that difficult for a fantasy game to get world building right. And
Typically.
And Myst is such a unique setting that the fact that it also has really solid, intelligent world building is impressive, because so many puzzle games of that type are like, oh, here's a puzzle because we have a puzzle here. Like, Myst 3 and 4 are both guilty of that. So, very impressive to play a game that's that solid.
Myst 3 and 4
Here on Hillis, war has once again reared its...
Yeah, the Myst 3 was developed by the team that made the Journeyman project, which I've never played one of the Journeyman project games. Are they on GOG?
Lighthouse Shelter. Here is where some of the children whose parents have been captured by the Dons have been taken in by 2 devoted and courageous Hillians. Miss,
You don't know, do you?
No, what is? I don't think I'm aware of this series.
It's a game sort of like Myst.
As fast as a speeding
Are
bullet.
you talking about like the Dream games?
No, this is the Journeyman project.
No, I don't know this one.
That's Dreamfall you're thinking
Hey,
about.
Pop, stay zen.
I don't know
Don't
this
get
one
your
at all.
snout.
God, there's a lot of graphical adventure games.
That's a wrap.
Yeah,
Back it up.
there is an entire genre dedicated to it, and a lot of people do that a lot.
But
Though
you-
nothing like Myst. Usually.
True. Myst is, Myst was the origin and also the thing that got ripped off the most. Although none of them were as good whenever they ripped off Myst directly. And while Myst 3 is pretty good so far, because I've also been playing Myst 4, it's not as good. Like, even the writing took a dive. I mean, a sharp nosedive. Because one of the things I was really impressed by with Riven was that the writing was actually solid,
I'm fine.
good, and whenever there were actors on screen playing out the character parts,
Power.
Nope.
they weren't cheesy.
On the blitz, we're sitting.
Like, it did FMV so well that it wasn't even cheesy.
What a pessimisto.
Well, some
Your
back in the day
faithful
that didn't-
servant Secundo has found
that
the
did it
answer
better
to your
than
money problemo.
cheesy.
Yeah.
Secundo. We're stuck.
How many? Like, really, how
I mean,
many?
it wasn't a lot.
Build. Optima has cut off the...
I mean, in 1997, at a time whenever you expected them to all kind of be soaked in that corniness of like all the games that came out from around that time period. Like, we're only talking about 2 years removed from Sewer Shark, or 4 years removed from Sewer Shark, I guess. But so it's astonishing because I've played so many crappy FMV games that seeing anything similar is just surprising.
It's like any other.
We're in the middle of a war, son.
You understand nada, bacon bread. Control of the species is mucho importante.
Gimmick.
Any type of gimmick thing.
And we'll see.
It may be at the time. Its intentions were to be like the next big thing, and to be the next innovation of movements. People fucking ruin it. Which is basically what happened with the Wii. It could have been the thing that actually did really take your things over.
Not really hungry.
But because of all the bullshit that we got, it ended up just being a joke. And now no one wants anything to do with it.
My L button does not work, Brandon. The L button on my controller is dead.
I guess you weren't using it, and
I was, I thought. I guess not. My L button is dead. I can't play this game because my L button is dead.
You only have one PS3 controller?
Yes, I only have the one. They're expensive still. This is sad. I am so heartbroken. I'm going to change our title to Random PS3 Things. How sad. This is depressing. I'm gonna let you pick the next game.
That's all you've been doing.
That's right, because you're at my house. You are my guest. Second one.
Project 2.
Which is oddly out in 1995.
No longer true.
Oh, you're gonna play some Hitman? Go for it, man. Play some Hitman, because I am very bad at Hitman. And I will watch you play, and you will show me how to not suck.
No, I won't. I get through these things, but it's like that's why I treat them like puzzle games. But just because I go through the first time, don't mean I'm doing it the second time either.
Wow, this game. Colonel Baldwin. Wow, look at this guy. He does not look like one of the Baldwins. Okay, anyway. So let's move on to what we are going to talk about next. And this is pretty much the only interesting news story I saw all week. And this is all from an interview that we read earlier this week. And it involves the life cycle of the PlayStation line of consoles. Not just the PS4, but everything. PS3, PS2, so on and so forth. Brandon, do you remember how many games came out so late for the PS1? Back when it was going?
Mm-mm.
So, PS1 launched in 1995 in the United States. And the last game for that system came out an insane amount of time later. I think it was 2007, I think was the last one.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say it was FIFA.
That's not surprising. Most times, port titles just keep coming out for these old consoles. Because, I mean, they're easy to...
Yeah, 2007 was the last FIFA game.
Let me through the door.
Oh, no, wait, was it 2005? I thought it was later than that.
Hurry up, Padre. I need to go kill people, and I can't do it until you're done talking to me.
So the next one, on the PS2, the last game that was actually FIFA for the PS2, and it was after, and that was in 2000. Wow. Anyway, basically the comment is coming from Sony Interactive Entertainment in Europe, President Jim Ryan. He does not think that the PlayStation 4 or any other console will repeat the 13-year life cycle of the PlayStation 2. And keep in mind that this is... We're now 10 years into the PS3. And
10 years to the PS3.
yeah, it's been 10 years since PS3 came out.
That's it?
Yep. Because it launched in 2007. Later than either of the other consoles. At least I want to say it was 2007.
So, and how many years are we now into the PS4?
Oh god. That was...
It was at least three
It's
years.
more than 3 years ago. It was... I want to say it was 2000...
It was 4 years ago because I got it my first year with my current job, and I'm 4 years into that job.
So yeah, 2014. No, 2013. Yeah. So yeah, 4 years ago. It's almost 4 years old.
Yeah. So and with that in mind, we had a new console come out 3 years after this point.
Yeah. 3 years after right now. So 7 years.
Wow. I didn't realize they were. I thought they were around.
Wait a minute, am I getting that right? It launched in 2006. Oh, that's the PlayStation
I'm so lost.
3. What? Google, you are so wrong. November 2016 for the PlayStation 3.
Through to Diana.
We need to confirm your...
Wait a minute, here we go. Okay, it came out in 2006. So actually, it's 11 years on right now.
Put Diana on. She'll recognize
Sorry,
my
I
voice.
kind of got that. Wow.
It's been a while.
My gaming history is really off today. That's why I googled it, because brains.
Sure you're not too rusty
So
for your first...
he doesn't think that we're gonna see another console ever have as long of a lifespan as the PlayStation 2, which had a 13-year cycle. And
Well, you get pretty damn close.
yeah, I mean, there would have to be 2 more years worth of games. But the thing is, I actually went on GameStop's website whenever I saw this, and I saw that literally there was hardly anything coming out with the PS3 this year.
arrangement we made to rescue your...
And I do remember when the PS2 was still going. I remember PS2 RPGs coming out for years, it seemed like, after the PS3 came out. Like, you bought Persona 3. I mean, no, you bought Persona 4 the year the PlayStation 4 came out. I mean, the PlayStation 3 came out. And that was not long after it actually came out, you know? So, that's bizarre to me. Oh, here you go. So, the PlayStation 2's actual last game was Pro Evolution Soccer 2014, coming out in 2013. So, the year the PlayStation 4 came out, the last PS2 game released.
Over here.
Similarly, FIFA Soccer 2005 was the last PlayStation game, and it came out in 2004. So that's a solid 4 years after the launch of the system. I don't see any reason why the PS3 couldn't keep going, but I don't think I do agree that it doesn't seem like it's gonna be a similar situation. But here, the thing that's interesting about this is that we're currently in a console generation where we're seeing these like stopgap systems in the form of the PlayStation 4 Pro and the Xbox One X, and here we've got an actual, you know, somebody who's in the leadership of Sony saying that no, it's not going to have the same lifespan, and he thinks that the entire, you know, he's actually not saying that he thinks that the market's going towards shorter lifespan consoles, and he thinks that I'm trying to formulate a sentence here. He doesn't see. I don't think that the way I'm reading it, he doesn't see that there's actually that Sony's going to do what Microsoft's doing. He does not think that that is the answer to the next wave of consoles. This like shorter lifespan system. The thing that I think is what I keep coming back to with this is whenever in the last days of the PS3 360 generation, whenever you have all the developers complaining about the strength of consoles. Do you think that's going to happen again, and do you think it will happen sooner than it did last time? You actually think it'll happen sooner than last time?
Well, as long as we keep making this forward progress into being PC oriented, yeah.
You think that the 4K push is going to be another part of that?
Not right now. I guess it depends on how long this goes on for. I don't know, but what is he saying exactly? I'm not sure I'm quite understanding what he's. If it's not going to have a lifespan as long as the PS2, then what? Why?
Well, this is well. He says, "Okay, you want to read the entire quote? Because this is an excerpt from a much longer interview that's in a magazine, like a print magazine. Because other countries think that those are a good thing still." So his quote is, "It's a very interesting question. The cultural phenomenon of regular updates to smartphones and tablets is without questions, perhaps subliminally, coloring mindsets. And the days of a 13-year PlayStation 2 cycle will almost certainly never repeat themselves. But equally, a platform is a very delicate ecosystem, and if that platform is to succeed, you've got to give those who make content for it a chance to recoup on it. At the end of the day, like it or not, these are businesses. We struck, and Microsoft has as well, a good balance of innovation within the confines of the platform. Also, services which operate agnostically of particular hardware, like PlayStation Now for example, are something you're going to see more of. I think we're only 6 months into PlayStation 4 Pro and it's too early to tell. The Xbox One X hasn't launched yet. I don't know if this is the way forward or not."
Oh, you're talking about just having periodical releases like you do with cell phones and stuff.
Right.
Honestly, no. Fuck you.
You have given up all pretenses of stealth.
Yeah. I actually will say this. You need a new controller.
I do. I'm
Yes.
noticing.
Like the fucking the thumbsticks. Oh god, man.
That's not good news because those controllers still cost a lot.
I mean, it's so loose. I'm like, oh my god.
Have you played this version of the game before?
Yes.
Okay, so it is my controller.
I mean, because my PS3 controllers are not this loose. No. Open door. Fuck you. Die. Victory for Brandon.
Back on subject.
Pick a broom. I definitely see his point. That's been the thing I've been thinking. It's like, how if you keep changing the consoles, how can people even remotely begin to make money back?
Or even finish games before that has happened. Because the development cycle for these stupid 4K giant mega games
is years.
It's years. It's not a short development cycle. It's not an easy development cycle because...
Well, I guess you would have to change the way that things are done. Like with Samsung, you make a game for Android, and it just so happens to be supported on various Android devices, and you have to change the way you make games. You have to change your thought process in making games. You wouldn't just make it for one console. You would just make it for an operating system, and whatever device supports that operating system.
You know what's funny about that is that's the design method. That was the concept and methodology for the 3DO. Is that there were various 3DO consoles.
Not in the basement. They must have moved it.
That is not for today alarm.
Right.
That is tomorrow night.
Satellite footage
Sorry. That's a work-related alarm. The 3DO was entirely built on the premise that multiple hardware manufacturers could make the 3DO systems.
I do remember that.
And that there's just one way to make games for it, and it works on all game systems.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing that the smartphone market is coming on, and
So you're saying
That's-
the 3DO was just ahead of its time?
I guess I am admitting that Trip Hawkins was right. And I can't believe I'm ever going to utter that sentence. But at the same time, he was right about it for the wrong platform. Yeah, the car's behind there. That much I have seen.
Yeah. Do I have the key?
The door is locked. Oops.
Actually, I don't even think you need the fucking car.
I don't know. I sucked at
It's
this.
been so long since I played this damn game. Hellos.
I'm just gonna shoot everybody. This
You're
is
dead.
terrible news that I have to buy a PS3 controller. Because they're
you don't need the- you don't need
expensive.
the car.
I would
Mass murder.
Hey, but you earned me 2 trophies while you were doing this.
No. Yeah, I don't even know what L1 does in this game. I'm sure it's important.
It seems like it's important if you're.
But yeah, my favorite thing was like when all these walls, I would go, I'm like, yep, all the walls are filled up with guns. I got all the guns and the swords. Don't forget the swords and the
Yeah.
hatchet.
The hatchet. I don't know. It's but I think it's. I don't think that the short lifespans of. I don't think like a 4-year lifespan's a good idea for any console, because. Like we've already established, it takes way too long to make a game of the standards that we expect from modern game consoles. For there ever to actually be for there to be a memorable library of titles on a single system.
I mean, if you mean if a 4-year thing, you may get 1 or 2 titles per studio.
And that's it. And that's if you're lucky.
No,
Like you wouldn't get Horizon Zero Dawn and then a sequel to Horizon Zero Dawn on the same hardware. You wouldn't have gotten Uncharted and Uncharted 2 and Uncharted 3 on the same system. And pushing for that kind of
7, Diana here.
pushing for that kind of system in modern game hardware is it doesn't make sense compared to what people claim they also want. Like people are saying, yes, give us shorter game console cycles so we can get better graphics, but at the same time, we also want the best video games, and we want these like 100-hour opuses. That's not going to work. That does not happen in the real world.
well, I mean, like I said again, we sort of need to change the way we view and do video games. I mean, a PC may be expensive, but there's a reason why it still works after all these years. I don't have to change out my hardware. They can just make a game for a PC, and you never have to worry about you suddenly changing. You don't have to worry about. And I have to completely scrap everything I've done and port it all over again. You don't have to worry about that.
Which is one of the things that's actually good about backwards compatibility when it actually functions. Is that, yeah, you can actually
Now
bring
you
that
could
stuff
make
up.
games with that in mind. If they allowed, past games, you could make. Well, we have the PS4, and I want to make a game for the PS3, but because the PS4 is backward compatible, which it's not, but I'm just saying if it was, then you could still make that game and it could still function.
Yep.
In theory.
But of course they don't want to do that because Sony doesn't believe in backwards compatibility.
Well, hell, not even Xbox isn't going to do that. But I'm just saying that would be a thing that needs to be considered. I mean, especially I imagine some studios probably can't afford to keep upgrading to these damn newer things they keep changing.
No, they probably can't.
Like I said, if you want what you currently have, you need to change the mindset of developing for a platform. Well, you need to change the idea what your platform is from a hardware to a software perspective. Which is why, I mean, I don't like mobile games most of the time, but that's why they
That's the reason why they are. That's the reason why they continue to thrive despite
Arriving
being
at the building.
like
Looks like the meeting is
completely
starting ahead.
devoid of anything interesting.
Ready, 47.
How?
I think that cable is making my controller even worse. I've really got to invest in a controller now, I guess. Which is, hey, if we're going to talk about things that cost too much, controllers. Please stop making controllers so expensive.
I know. I love how when you trail somebody in this game, they keep looking behind you, looking at you.
Well, hey, if some, like, random...
So why are you following me?
I'm sorry, some random bald dude with a red bow tie on, or a red tie on, was following me on the street. I'd be freaked out, too. Come on. Alright, well... Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what Sony does in the future, considering Microsoft's next move.
With this in mind, we're supposed to get a new Sony console in the next few years.
It's only been 4 years, though.
Yeah, next few years, like 3 or 4 years, we should start seeing a new console.
Oh, like the announcement that it's coming.
The announcement and the fact that it'll be here within another year. So, I mean, I can't believe it's already been 4 years.
You know, I
honestly,
remember...
it's only been the past year that we've gotten anything of note. I mean, not just from them, but from anybody.
Oh, that's not entirely true. We got Witcher 2 years ago.
Honestly, I'm going to say this. That's not a console game. That's a fucking PC game that console just happened to get.
Yeah, but I played it on consoles and I quite enjoyed it.
Console games that were made for consoles, that were original for console, just consoles, not computer, ported over.
Alright, I'm going to think of something to dispute you. I'm going to find a game...
I mean, the only thing that you could really maybe think of, and that's because I don't know the date it released, was Uncharted 4.
That's true, but that was only about a year ago.
Hey?
I mean, it's a very
He's got a
good
gun!
game.
You're dead.
What else? Let's see. Infamous Second Son was very good, but it was derivative of concepts that we already saw on the PS3, which is true of almost everything we've gotten on modern consoles, to be honest. Because, frankly, as good as Horizon Zero Dawn is, it's playing off of pre-existing ideas. Would you disagree?
What?
That Horizon Zero Dawn is playing off of existing
They're
ideas.
all fucking playing off preconceived ideas. I don't... That, to me, is not going to change that. It's fucking Witcher's playing off preconceived ideas.
Yes, but it's doing it beautifully.
I mean, The Witcher changed those ideas because that's what
It deepened-
Horizon modeled itself after.
True, but the entire thing that works so well about Witcher is that it makes its side content worth a shit. Which
I think that was like the biggest change, because before then it was just, hey, side content filler.
experience points, gold. That's the entire reason why you're doing this. You know, I never missed. I've played several other RPGs since finishing The Witcher, but never in my life have I missed a game as much for its side content as when I was playing Xenosaga 2. And remembering how good the side content in Witcher was. Getting a pan out of somebody's house felt amazing compared to that
In
game.
4 minutes, get ready.
Ugh. What an obnoxious piece of garbage Xenosaga was.
I don't really remember any major standout titles in the early years.
Are you speaking specifically about the PS4, Xbox One cycle?
I mean,
or are you including the Wii U?
sort of group them together.
Well, yeah, but are you also including the Wii U in that?
No.
Because about a year after it came out, it got an exceptional Mario game. With
And the
Mario
only
3D
thing
World.
the only problem is I would combat that with that still hinges its success on first-party titles, and
True.
that to me that's just not good
47.
enough.
Okay, well, third parties have been less than impressive for a while.
Yeah, that's sort of what I'm getting at, is that you've only had just the past couple of years that's been producing any titles, and the console that's been around for 4, And with basically, if you mirror the last generation, then in the next 3 we should be hearing about another console. That's horrible. It didn't take that long for the PS3 and the 360 to get good titles.
360 rolled out the gate about a year later. It started having great titles after a year. PS3, it took a little longer.
That's because people had to figure out how to work the damn thing.
Yeah, it was too busy solving Rubik's Cubes in
And I'm
front
not
of
gonna
them.
lie, I mean, toward the end of the generation, I was playing more PS3 games than I was 360.
It's because that's where the stuff was coming out by that point.
Where the fuck am I? Where's that room? The guards have found the dead soldier. So? There's a lot of dead soldiers.
You have no ammo. I hope you realize that.
There's a room with a sniper rifle. Or am
God, the fact that you remember this game that well is impressive.
There's supposed to be a room with a sniper rifle. Or no, I didn't. Oh God, I forgot. I was supposed to grab it out of the Foot Locker in the train station. Whoopsie.
Good job, buddy.
47.
Good job.
I still remembered it.
That's true. You did. You did indeed remember.
47.
Let's see. Do I have a gun?
You do have a gun.
It does have ammo.
Not very much.
I can see.
Are you really going to try and snipe somebody with a handgun across all this distance? Hey, objective status change.
You took out the wrong target.
Oh!
I don't give a shit. I just want to kill things. No. Oh. It automatically ends. Well,
Mission fishing mailed.
fuck you too.
Well, anyway, anything else you'd like to talk about on the show this week?
Wow. Really?
That was all I had.
God.
Yeah. What a boring ass week in video games. I swear, like, I know that there's a drought after E3, but there has to be something going on out there that we're just not seeing. Wait a minute, didn't you send me something through VG 24/7 that was interesting? It must not have been that interesting.
I don't
Because
remember.
neither of us remembers it.
Yes, run away, human.
Puny human, I will kill you with my 9mm.
The door is locked. Game that should not have a first-person mode.
Does it? Oh my god, it does.
So I imagine the
Officers are arriving at the
officers
building.
are arriving at the
Looks
building.
like the meeting is starting ahead of schedule. Be ready. 47.
Hey Brandon, there is one thing you did not mention that you played this week.
What else I play?
You played Solitaire.
Oh yeah, that's right. I was going to mention that too. Die.
Isn't it really sad that you can't just play regular ass Solitaire on Windows anymore? You gotta download their
Yeah,
Microsoft
but
Solitaire
that's-
game pack.
That's Microsoft bullshit.
Sort of like the fact that they got rid of Microsoft Paint and replaced it with Paint 3D.
Yeah, but you know,
I've not tried Paint 3D. Is it any good?
I've not tried Paint 3D. I didn't know that was a thing.
Oh, that's what you sent me. That is the thing you sent me. I cannot believe. I know why I forgot this now. Because I don't want to. I can't believe I'm doing this to my brain. Guards now looking for suspicious bald man. Okay, so China is weird in this one.
Oh yeah.
Chinese Nissan ads now feature lightning and snow and images from Final Fantasy 13.
Yeah, that's why I sounds like they were just whoring her out. Anybody who's willing to pay the money, here you go.
I honestly do not have any idea why that's a thing.
I don't either.
Because 13 is not that good.
No.
And that's being nice. Like, 13 is very mediocre.
Why are they so obsessed with the character though?
Her character is non-existent. She has no personality.
Well, they're not going after her for